Welcome. What's good? What's good? Happy Thursday, y'all. Gonna be up here with you guys for this 5-game slate that we have rocking here on Thursday. Still with the disclaimers of everybody be careful for what you're betting on today. I'm gonna be going over what you should be looking out for. Like I said, I'm still gonna kind of play buffer here as much as I can with y'all to make sure that we don't bet on things that we just think are good because they would be under normal circumstances, and we are not under normal circumstances. So let me get to a couple of things here real quick. I'm gonna let you look at the record for 1 second while we all right. All right, cool. So we're looking at what we got for the record. You can see on the season, we had a decent day yesterday. So we got picked a couple units back up after a pretty tough day on, what was it now? It's Tuesday that we were looking at. That was a rough day, lost about 3 units that day, but we're back. We're coming in. So I'm going to come and look at a couple bets here today. And like I said, we portioned units correctly yesterday. So that's how come we ended up on an okay spot. The only bet that I have in so far that I did place, and I got a couple that I know I'm about to place as well here. Is it from that Kings and the Pellies game? And what I was looking at in that game is basically the way that these two teams have been playing unders. They're both huge unders. They've been playing super slowly. And that's why I really do like the under in this one. I put a unit on it, under 218.5, got some pretty good early value. So I would recommend subscribing to that page. Check out those projections videos. Jump in the comments now as well. If you do have a bet, I want to hear it from y'all and I want to get over it with you guys here in this one. That's what we do on this live stream. I will say, while I got you here, that we are in a good place to potentially get this Discord going tomorrow. So that's going to be coming through tomorrow, Friday. I got a couple more things I want to add to it, a couple more bots that I want to make sure I can just get. But it's going to be a lot of early plays. It's going to be all the stuff that we get here, but earlier. We're going to have access to myself in there. We're going to get the office hours going so we can go over some of these bets when it's not just in the live stream, because we got a really nice community going here now. So I'm really, really excited to bring this to y'all and get this going tomorrow. I'll have a bit more on that tomorrow during the live stream. Probably mention it in tonight's video as well. But just wanted to bring that to our attention because I've been promising it and I appreciate you guys asking for it. And I can't wait to get it going with y'all here starting tomorrow. So what's good to everybody that's jumping in the chat? We got some Josh Hartlove already. Azania's coming in. We do have him on the look here. What's good? Free sauce. We got Rockstar with Derek White. Also like CJ Points. We can look at that. Let me get some stuff in here. I want to get, I'm putting people's names up too, so we can get people, I can make sure I'm talking to the right people here. You're going to see on the bottom, we got some stuff coming in, but you see next to the people, next to the bets that I have coming up, I have the name of the person who asked me that in the chat, so I can keep getting to know y'all a little bit better and give you guys some credit when you get these bets in and we look at them together, right? So let me add a couple that you already got in here. And we'll go from there. Yes, Struce kind of came up dirty on us. He hooked us. I mean, he had 7 by the end, but that was a weird game. Should have gone with the Mobley rebounds instead of the points as well. That was a miss, but I got Josh Green in here as well. Rockstar coming in with hot with these bets. We'll take a look. I'll put JB on there. It's up to 32.5 for Jalen Brunson, which is absolutely insane. So I'll add that to the card. But I will say for the Celtics and Knicks game, you're going to want to be a little bit careful when it comes to who the Celtics are playing. That those lineups might look a little bit different. The Knicks, I mean, they should pull this one out. The Celtics do continue to not play their starters for the second half of the game, basically, and definitely the fourth quarter. But we'll look at Brunson points. We should probably look at points and assists for JB, just because the points are so high, and the assists are now at 7.5. I also saw Hartenstein in there. I'm going to add him. And I want to make, like I said, I'm going to put the names next to who we got coming in here. So I know Rockstar was talking about Jalen Brunson. And then I believe I saw my dude with the the Isaiah Hartenstein look as well was Konstantin Maruzic. Add you in there too, bro. All right. We got Brunson coming from Rockstar. We got Hartenstein. We'll look at his rebounds. I do feel you on that. We can look at his rebounds. All right. Constantine got that one. Gonna get into a couple. I'm still bringing up these bets, so it definitely still got a couple more if you guys want to look at something else. We do have Jalen Green on there as well. I know a couple of y'all are looking at him. Ayton is on there already. And as far as the Jazz and Rockets game, I have a couple guys on there as well. But Yeah, and that's the thing about the Celtics today is just they don't look like they're trying. Look, they've won 13 in a row, and they haven't been playing all their guys in those 13 games. So it's not like we can just automatically assume the Knicks are going to pull this out. Just because you need to win doesn't mean that you will win. So we'll look at that, though. And I do have a couple things for that, that the game with the Dubs and the why am I blanking? The Dubs and the Blazers already, because I now that we know that that Draymond is out, we know that Clay is out, and so we're in a good spot to pick some of these guys. So let me go ahead and get this screen share going, and we can look at what we got today. All right. So for today's card, I do want to just start by showing you guys the standings here in the NBA, so we can just kind of get a quick update, make sure we know what we're talking about for which teams might need what. Also want to make sure that you know who teams are playing tomorrow. So I'm pulling up advanced. This is hashtag basketball, rather, and this is a really solid grid. Link to this is in the description of the video, like everything always is. So make sure you check that out. And what I want to see here is who's playing on Thursday and who's playing on Friday. Look at this schedule, by the way. Friday has 15 games, and then Saturday, no games, and then Sunday, 15 games, right? And then you got a day off for everybody, and then on Tuesday, you're going to have the play-in tournament the following week after this Sunday, right? So right now, I've got all the teams that are going to play on Thursday and Friday. So let's see what matters here. Boston doesn't need to win. They are 14 games up. I will just show you that one more time. 13 and a half, because the Bucks pulled out that win yesterday against the Magic. But other than that, we're talking about them not needing to win. We're talking about the Bulls playing Detroit and Washington. God bless figuring out what that was going to happen with Detroit there. Don't worry about the Pistons. The Dubs are what I'm looking at as well. They got Portland tonight, and then they got New Orleans tomorrow. That's why you already got Clay out. That's why you already got Draymond out, because those dudes are not playing, my bad, in this game tonight, to make sure they get theirs tomorrow night. The Pelicans play Sac, but Golden State tomorrow, so they don't really get a rest. And the Knicks will definitely be going all out against this Boston team tonight, with Brooklyn on deck tomorrow, right? And the Kings, like I said, too, also just have a couple tough games in a row. So the teams to keep in mind here is basically the Dubs more than anything is what I'm looking at here, to make sure you know, like, there's a reason they're sitting there, dudes. They're going to make sure they win this game. So what do we do with that info? We can look at that here in a sec. But let's kick it off with the first game that we got. That I can at least go a little bit in order here, right? So the card on the bottom is going to be what we've already got in, plus the stuff that's coming up here. And the first one we will look at is this Boston and this Knicks game, right? So I got a couple of bets that you guys already want to look at. Hold on one sec. I'm going to put that up as well. All right, in the up next stuff. So this is what we're looking at now, looking at this Boston and Knicks game, right? So for this one, where I'm at is basically, this is a ton of points for Jalen Brunson. So I'm going to start on props.cash, which is where we usually start here, to make sure that we see all this stuff real nice and easy. It's really one of the best starting points for me anyway. And I am going to be using something else with you guys, where I'm looking at this Excel sheet. So I'm going to put these bets through this Excel sheet. I know it's not the sexiest thing in the world, but I do want to start to make sure that I'm finding the value. And it'll be real quick, and I'll show you what I mean. But we'll get to that in one sec. So looking at where we can start with Brunson here. Pulling this up, my bad. All right, so with Brunson, what I'm concerned with more than anything is that this 32.5 points is dumb high, right? So if you look at just his points as a starting point for JB, I mean, this is Kaminga still. Let me get over to Brunson. Come on, man. So if I'm looking at Brunson, yes, he's gone over a ton as of late. And I know that's what people want to look at consistently, is like, has he done this recently? It's not the only thing that matters. Let's just please always remember that. So with that in mind, the recent stuff is nice. You look at the teams he's played. All right, Chicago, that's a team he scores a lot on, because they pressure, they pressure the point guard a ton, but they also gamble a lot. And look, he had the ball in his hands, scored 45 points on 24 shots. He had 32 against Milwaukee to pull out 43 points. So he's going to be shooting. It's not like we can just dismiss that and say, like, oh, it doesn't matter too much. It matters a ton, right? But what we also want to make sure that we're looking at here is, like, how is this matchup? So the reason that he's gone 1 for 7 over his last 7 games against them, which includes all the regular season games from last year and this year, right? And that also includes the playing game that they had, right? He's gone over once on these 32.5 points. I understand he wasn't in the middle of a streak like he is right now, but it's not like he's going to have like a lot of any kind of edge going over against this Boston team. So I'm going to pull up Courtside Pal just as a starting point for how good this team is against point guards, and really his playmaker scoring profile rather. So pulling up Jalen Brunson. on Courtside Pal. Link is in the description of the video. Super helpful stuff to look at player type versus team rank. If we look at his points, where he's shooting from, his shooting profile, about middle of the pack. I guess his scoring profile too. He is the type of dude that scores against them. If we look at some stuff that is really helpful here, I'm going to go to NBA advanced stats for a sec and pull up the play type stuff, because we know what Jalen Brunson's doing. I'm going to start by showing you, if you go to players and you go to play type, right? We know if the different types of play types that we can choose from. Pick and roll ball handler is probably a good choice for Jalen Brunson. So we start there and we look at how many possessions he's doing that a game. Like, he's doing it the most in the league. It's he and Luka more than anybody. And then Dame is in there as well, as far as pick and rolls that they're running each game as the ball handler, right? So, I mean, that's already, we know that that's going to be a play he's running. As a result, he's got like the third most points in the league. Everyone's got over 11 there. And I'm going to switch this over to teams so I can show you the play type for Boston, how they do against pick and roll ball handlers. If we switch offensive to defensive, we go to possessions for them. They get put in that into the pick and roll with the ball handler there 20 times per game, which is like fifth most, right? With the frequency, it's also fifth most. The points per possession that they're allowing, they're going to be pretty good. They're a good defense. So they're still middle of the pack in terms of the amount of points per possession that this play is being run that they give up to the ball handler. But that's still good for bottom 5, bottom 6 points. So it makes sense that he gets his against the Boston Celtics. Most of these ball handlers do. If we look at props.cash again, we can see how recent ball handlers have done, or at least point guards have done against him in terms of points against the Celtics, right? And I want to look for guys that are similar in their play type, not just the dudes who are playing point guard like Jalen Brunson. So Dame is in there. He only got 12 against Boston in this last game. Weird game, because once again, like, Bobby Portis went off and he didn't really need to do too much in that one without Giannis that they played the other day. Delano Blanton, not really similar. He's more of a slashing, almost forward, to be honest, even though he has the ball a lot. Scoot would be pretty similar, but not the shooter that JB is, not taking the shots. De'Aaron Fox is a good comp for Brunson, I would say, for sure. That probably is the best one so far in terms of how he's coming off of those screens, even though he's a little bit bigger and faster. So it's possible, right? It's definitely possible to get this, and you got to think that JB is going to be gunning for sure. But this is just, it's dumb high against a team that is good at defense. Now, in the second half, we might not see as much defense from this team if we're looking at guys like Peyton Pritchard getting in the game and Sam Hauser. So just real quick, looking at the Boston Celtics, I want to take a look at who's been playing in the fourth quarter for them. I'm going to pull up their team page real quick and just go to the players so I can see who's been playing as of late. So I'm going to go to the last 5 for this team. I'm going to go to advanced filters and change it to just the fourth quarter and see who's been getting minutes in the fourth. Payne Pritchard is playing the most minutes in the fourth, then Hauser, then Tillman. And you still got Jaylen Brown and Drew Holiday and Derek White in there, but you've even got Luke Cornett at 6.5 and Jordan Walsh at 6.5. Svi Mikhailuk has played all 5 games and played 6.5 minutes in the fourth quarter. You get what I'm saying, right? None of those dudes are good defenders. Some of them are pretty good at offense, but I'm really not concerned with that. I like points in this game more than anything, to be honest. So really where I'm at with this one is like, I don't know that JB will even need to be in there. So I got to stay away from that. The assists as well. I know he's been doing it against all these teams. I get it. And his potential assists are up at about 15 a game over the course of the last. Honestly, the assists are starting to be what I like more than anything. The problem is, I know Boston doesn't give up assists. If we go to assists on Courtside Pal for Brunson and pull up Playmaker, they're going to be third best at limiting assists to his playmaker type, right? So if we look at his history against them as of late and how he's played, I don't think that I'm looking at assists head to head. I don't know that you get really any value off of this. And on the 24th of February, he had 13 potentials and got 9 assists. That's some really good shooting by this Knicks team that I don't know if I want to really buy into fully. So for Brunson, like, let's see, like, let me just put it through the Excel sheet for you real quick. So I want to take what I want to look at here for Brunson is I want to look at his projected minutes. I'll do Brunson. The prop that I'm talking about right now is going to be points because I really don't trust the assists. If anything, I'd be going under with the assists. The line is 32.5. The under odds for his line, pulling that back up real quick, are minus 1.8. Well, this is, points, 32.5. On DraftKings, you can still get 31.5. So I'll even put that in there because that's going to be a way better bet at minus 125. So minus 125, and I'll put this at 31.5. And go to minus 125 to the over. and this is going to be in the Discord. This sheet right here with exactly how to use it is going to be in there so that you can get this some percentages that will really help you make your plays. So I'm going to put 31.5. I'm going to go over -125, under -105, right? All right, let me move this over here. Under -105, which is good. -105 is good odds. The minutes average. So the minutes average that for him, let's just do last 10 in terms of his minutes. I think that's a pretty good projection. We'll do 36.7. And I know it's all hands on deck, but I mean, there's the likelihood that they do win this. He doesn't need to play as much at the end if there's not starters in, but we'll put 37. We'll put 36.5 right now. And for his prop average and this points, let's do, I mean, we can do last 10, but I think we got to take into consideration what he does against this Celtics team too. So in the last 10, he's averaging 34 a game. I still think we can take that. That's fine. Even though if you look at the teams that he's scored a ton against, it was better teams. So we'll put 34 in there. If you look at his head-to-head versus squad, he's scoring 23.7. But without the starters playing as many minutes, we'll project him to play we'll use his last 10 as the number here. So 34 points per game is the prop average where he's at. So that means he's scoring about 0.9 points per minute that he's in, right? The projected minutes for tonight, we'll still say 37. I mean, that's about where he's at. So I think that's good. But that is going to see. So now I'm going to put in the probability for the under, which at -125, just pulling this up real quick, at -125 on the betting odds calculator is going to be implied odds of 56%, because we'll round that up. All right. So 56% is his probability to the under at this is the over at -125. So 56% there. And at -105, the implied probability is 51%. All right. Hopefully you're all still with me. So I'm putting this in. I'll go over this a little bit more thoroughly in the Discord. We'll get it down. But what this is showing me now is what the edge is to his over. Is this a good bet? And what I want this number to be is at least 10%. I want the edge to be 10%. That lets me know that I have a really good shot of winning this bet with those odds of implied probability, with the return on my money, all that into consideration in this one little row right here. The edge is only at 0.62%. That's not even close to what I would need to get over. The under is not a good bet either because he's taking so many shots, but this is why we got to pass on points for JB. This is the type of math I'm trying to do in my head with y'all really quickly, so I don't have to take you through this spreadsheet and bore you to death. But it's helpful to have a number right there in front of me that says, "Don't do it. It's not worth it. You don't got to live your life like this." All right, so I'm gonna pass on Brunson on the points and assists. I can put that down for right now. I would say for the assists, the look here is the under, if anything. Like I was saying, because of the way that this Boston team plays defense against his position and does not give up assists at all. I mean, even if you just look at Fantasy FanDuel Pros real quick and you look at point guards versus Boston, you can easily see that they don't give up assists to point guards. The sixth fewest on the season. I guess over the last 7, even over the last 7, they're still good. They're still 5th, 6th best, right? At limiting assists to point guards. So I think an under for JB is a better play. He doesn't do this against this team. And we have seen him go over way more than way more than over, especially with the amount of shots he's taken lately. I'm going to probably pass on that, but I'm actually just going to put it in here real quick. I'm going to put Brunson assists, and I'm going to go with the line at 7.5. The under odds for that are going to be, my bad, don't need Spotify in here. The under odds for the assists for JB are -150. So it's already, I can tell you that edge is not right for me. So I'm not even going to look at that one anymore. I know I'm passing on JB with the assists. So that's just a little bit, like I said, of insight of what I should be doing with you guys. Even though it takes a little bit more time, it's better to have that understanding of exactly what we're doing here rather than worry about, spending time. It's like we want to get these bets right? So I'm going to pass on Brunson and write that out real quick on here. We pass on Brunson. I'm looking at Hartenstein real quick as well so that we can see if there's anything for his boards in this game. I want to look at his minutes. I'm not really sure what they've been at. So if I pull up Hartenstein boards, get to Isaiah, look at his rebounds. All right, 7.5. He only got 4 against Shy City last game, so already not off to an awesome start. But we'll keep looking at that. No worries. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything too as well with some of the stuff you got in here. Yeah, we do need to look at Hart as well. So I'll make sure Josh Hart rebounds is in here. Put that up. Hold up one sec. And then we get that scrolling on the bottom. I got Hart threes, and I'll just look at Hart threes and rebounds as well, since y'all want to look at that. All right. So, but first I'm looking at Hartenstein and his boards against this squad right here. I mean, head to head, it's going to be tough to get boards against them. He did board up on December. We do know Mitchell Robinson is back as well, right? So we've got Mitch Rob in there. I don't think we've seen much OG and not OG, Precious, right? Let me look at Precious Achiuwa last 5 games. I think he might have just been bumped, basically, right? Yeah, he's just been bumped to the bench, essentially, because we got Mitchell Robinson getting minutes now. So if we look at Mitch Rob coming off the bench, by the way, for this Knicks squad, he's still he's not getting very much time either. So for Hartenstein in the last 5 games, he's played, he's averaging 27 minutes. So I think 28 minutes, 27 minutes, like he's played mostly here in the last 4, are pretty good assumption for what we can expect him to get in this game. So in 28 minutes, let's bump this up to 28 right here. Look at the last 5, he's played 28 minutes. So in the last 5, he's still gone under this 7.5 boards prop, which is really low, to be honest. And you really need Boston to be missing shots, which doesn't really feel like a good thing to bank on for the way this Boston team is playing offense. His matchup in this game, I forgot if we know what's up with a couple of these dudes. Let me look at my underdog real quick. I don't think we have, so we know Xavier Tillman's going to be playing. Kristaps is going to be available to play, and I don't know if Al Horford was ruled out already. This is just a mess in this injury report right here. If anybody knows about Al Horford, obviously please weigh in, but it doesn't even look like he's on the injury report at all. So I think Papa Al is playing. So we got Al Horford and Kristaps Porzingis out there, which means you got rested big dudes against Hartenstein, whose minutes you can't really guarantee. If we look at Hartenstein's, let's look at his rebound chances. I'm going to go back to advanced NBA stats. I'm going to go to players, and this is that awesome tracking data that helps us see what he's been doing recently anyway. The rebounding for Hartenstein, I'm going to make this the last 5 games since we've had Mitch Rob. I'm going to go New York Knicks only to see what's good on Hartenstein's rebounds. All right, so he's at 13 rebound chances. Josh Hart, I was told to look at his rebounds, which I will do right after this. He's at 13 potentials, only 5.8 rebounds, which is not very good for him, which is wild. And we know Josh Hart is a rebound hog. Is he at like 8.5 though? That's the problem with him, is his stuff stays really high. Josh Hart, yeah, he's at 9.5 boards, right? Something else he's not likely to do against this team. In the last 5, pulling down 13 against Chicago. That's terrifying. I'm not going to lie to you. Even the rebounds and assists, like against this team, how many minutes has he played? Last time he played 42 minutes against them and pulled down 14 rebounds and assists combined, right? He pulled down 8 boards in that 41 minutes. That's tough, fam. That is really tough. Now, I know there's going to be other dudes in there playing. I know they need this game more, but I can't really rely on made-up intangibles that I don't know about for sure, right? So I'm not feeling as comfortable at this. If I pull him up in Courtside Pal and see how his rebounding profile compares to Boston, it'd be a little bit better than probably most centers and company, right? Like if we put Hartenstein in here. And I do want to look at the threes for Josh Hart that was brought up by G-Bag, because I think that might be a good look as well. Rebounds for this is Hartenstein against the Celtics, 19th. So they're like, 11th, 12th best at limiting rebounds to his rebound profile, which is to say centers for sure for Hartenstein. They defend the roll man very well, which is what Hartenstein does on offense. So I don't really feel comfortable with the points for him. If we look at the points for Josh Hart, he's scored against them a bit. Let me look at those threes real quick. So it is even money for him to hit a 3. Let's look at head to head. He's actually hit this in all 6 of them against this team dating back to last season. So I think that's 5, at least 5. I think maybe 6 because he came to the Knicks at the trade deadline. So yeah, all 6 games with the Knicks, he's hit a 3 against this squad. He's averaging 4 attempts basically. So he's got to hit 1 of 4, which I like those odds. The reasoning would probably be his matchup, which I imagine is going to oftentimes be a bigger dude. Let me look at the matchup real quick for Josh Hart, because I think that might be a really good look, which I want to say, since I have this written down, I know that it was G-Bag that brought that, right? No, DB brought that. My bad. DB brought that one earlier. So I appreciate that. That's what's scrolling on the bottom here, pulling up the box score. So now I really want to look at individual matchups. I don't want to just look at team defense versus position or versus player. I also want to look at individual matchups, right? So I'm going to pull up the box score the last time these teams played. I'm going to go to Verthiv. the New York Knicks for this season. Let's just pull up last game. February 24th. Celtics won by 14. They are a better team. The Josh Hart played 41 minutes. He was 2 of 5 from deep, right? And who was guarding him? So we're going to go to matchups inside of this box score right here. I'm going to pull this down too so it's easier to see what I'm doing. All right. So who was guarding him, and was there a good reason for him to pull them from the basket? So if I go to offensive players and pull up Hart, the dude spending the most amount of time on him was Jaylen Brown. He hit 2 of his threes versus both of his threes when JB was guarding him. The other dude was Al Horford, right? And I guess he didn't take any threes against Al Horford, but he did against Cornette and against Kristaps. Because I was thinking if a bigger dude is guarding him, it makes sense that he would draw them away from the basket. I like this look at even money for real. If we look at the last 10, how many threes is he even pulling in the last? I mean, he's only pulling like 1.8 per game. So you have to believe in what he's doing against this squad much more than you do against what he's doing in general. But I think that's a pretty good look just based on the attempts. Because if he gets 4 attempts to make 1, then I'm good with that. And the way that he's been attempting them against this team at 3.8, right? That's a pretty good look. I just need him to take the attempts. So I think that's an ad. I'm trying to think of another reason that he wouldn't hit it, like losing minutes to somebody, but he does not lose minutes to anybody. Maybe OG being in there. Let me just look at Josh Hart's threes with OG in. Pulling up Hart again, and I'm going to make sure that we have OG accounted for because I know he missed a bunch of games, including that last one, I believe, on the 24th. So with OG in, he has not played this team. So that's a big part of it, is like when OG's in the last 10, he's gone over 50% of the time. It looks a lot better when you just do head-to-head, but he's only played 1 game. He has not played a single game with OG against the Celtics, and that is kind of what does me in a little bit too and kind of scares me. If we look at his scoring prop real quick, it might be worth a half a unit at the 3-point. It just depends on what you believe in more. Now you just really have to weigh it out for yourself. As far as his shooting profile, second to last against this team, third in terms of his scoring profile. I know he's going to get out into transition and attack the rim as well. I'm going to get Josh Hart for a half a unit on the card because it's even money here, and I think that was a good look by UDB. So I'm going to put that up real quick and add Hart to the card right now. All right, we're taking Josh Hart on the threes over 0.5 3-pointers made. I like it. And we get even money on which book are we getting even money on? On DK, it's even money. So that's the best look right there. Cool. I'm with it. On DK, put 0.5 units on it to make a half a unit back. All right. Scrolling on the bottom, got anything that has a green next to it is going to be good to go. All right. Cool. So let's move on here, probably from this game in general, to be honest. I'm going to make sure I didn't miss anything from you guys, and we'll keep it going, all right? I'm just updating this so it all makes sense, and I want to make sure that everybody knows to jump into the comments. All right. Going to get a producer one of these days, y'all, I swear. Then we're going to be cooking. All right. From this game, I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. I'm going to jump back in here with you guys and see what's up. Yo, get it. I hope Josh Hart gets all the rebounds for real. I'm with that. I like it. I do think Houston plays everybody. They haven't sat anybody yet during their time here, Owen Clark. So if there's anything you want to look at from that game, let me know. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna skip right over this one, DB. You already know. I don't think we have time for this game, so we're good on that. Drummond's out. Yep. Vooch double. Yeah, I get it. I get what you're looking at. If we have time at the end, maybe I'll go back to that one because I know we got bets for this other stuff as well. So, yeah, I want to get to that. I want to get to that a couple of those end of the night games on the West Coast. So let me get to it here. If I'm looking at a couple more of these, yeah, we can look at Houston, Utah real quick. There was a good look from Mike. I don't think he's back, but Mike wanted to bring up Omer Yurtseven because when Yurtseven is in, it's Yurt season, baby. And believe it or not, like he's got some game. He has no defense, but he's got some offensive game. So I'll pull up Yurtseven real quick, knowing that nobody is playing, and he did do give him the business last time. Not this Rockets team, but the last game he played. And now it's doing the glitchy thing where it's not showing up Yurtseven for me. Hold up real quick. Let's switch games and see if I go back. Where are you at, Omer? All right, I got to refresh. There's no way that he got taken out, and there's nobody that would be coming in that would be taking some time for him. So, all right. There he is. All right. So, Omer, you're at 7. If you don't know by now, ask somebody and learn about Yurt season. It doesn't really matter. So he's played one game now where he's got minutes. He played against Cleveland as well, played 30 minutes, got 37 against Denver when they were just like, screw it, like just go ahead, Yurt 7. You deal with Jokic, which he did not do. If we look at the field goals he took against that squad, where are we at here with the field goals for Yurt 7? He took 14 against Denver. Right, his points prop is at 12.5. I get that. This Houston defense has not been very good down low. I'm going to pull up opponents shooting right now and just see how good they are down low. So I'm going to go to opponent shooting under NBA Advanced Stats. I'm going to switch to distance range to by zone, and I'm going to look at the last 15 games for this Houston team. I know that Şengün's been out for all of those. Not that he's like a world beater down low, but if we look at the attempts against this Houston team down low, not too many actually. If we look at the makes, a little bit higher. So the field goal percentages, yeah, they're giving a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th highest field goal percentage down low in the restricted area. I don't think I need to tell you where Yurt 7 is shooting from. I'm going to pull up Props Madness real quick. Also got the link to this in the description of the video. Really helpful stuff from Pips. So I'm looking at Houston, Utah, because I want to pull up Yurt 7 to show you what I'm talking about. This is the season shot chart for him. He's shooting 54% of his shots right next to the basket. 33% of them are inside the paint, but not right next to the rim. Opponent defense next to the rim is actually 6th best on the season, but we know over the course of the last 15 games they've been worse, and they're 23rd in limiting stuff inside the paint, not next to the basket directly. So there's something there for Yurt 7 being the dude to score against a weak interior defense. The question is, how many shots do you think he's going to get? So he made 9 of 14 in this last game, right? Which I think is a decent number because of the fact that he's shooting so close to the basket. He should be making that many shots, to be honest. There's not much else to go on other than if you just think that he is going to be getting a good dose of shots. And honestly, the only other dude on here that I would trust is Keontae George, who's the only other dude with props because it tells that everybody's out for this Utah team on that injury report. So for Yurt 7, for the amount of shots he's going to get, I mean, it's not even worth it to put him into the Excel sheet, to be honest, because we just only have one real game of him getting legit minutes. Let's see. I'm going to do every time that he's gotten 25 minutes on the season. Let's put it that way. So when he gets 25 minutes at least, he's done that 4 times, and he's only gone over once because, once again, he didn't take any shots in these prior games. So it's tough to just blindly take him. I don't think it's a bad look. Somebody's got to take shots for this Utah team. I do think the Rockets are going to blow them out, which is what we saw the spread rise right from. Let me pull it up real quick. The spread went from 3, I think it opened at, to looking at this game, to 11 now, which is crazy. It's definitely crazy. Rockets on the road, all that. But you see who's going to be trotted out for this Utah team, and it's nobody except for Yurt 7 getting the minutes there. I think if he takes 14 shots and he's got to make 7 of them, right? 7. He's got to shoot 50% from down low. I think 14 shots makes sense. The rebounds are at 9.5 plus 110. He just got what did he just get in the last 5 real quick? He got 11 in this last game, so that's a little bit closer. I think the rebounds are probably still good, to be honest. Let's put him in courtside pal. Not that they have that much data real quick, but I think that we might be good to take Yurt 7. I think that's a good look by Mike on the over points for Yurt 7. Looking at his points against Houston, yeah, I mean, he's going to be 13th in giving up the 13th most points to his shot profile. Yeah, I think this accounts for the whole season too. So I think you can look at this and go, okay, you extrapolate that out, and it's been worse lately for them. I think, like I said, he's got to take 14 shots. In the games he didn't take 14, took 7 and 10. If he takes 10, 70%, it's not still too bad. He hit 64%. So let's assume he's going to hit 60% of his shots, right? In which case he needs to hit 0.6 times what? 12. He needs to hit. Yeah, he needs to get. He needs to take 12 shots at 50%. 12 shots at 50% in the amount of time. I think we're good. I think that all of this would tell us to take that. So I'm going to put Yurt7 in here. I think that's a really good look for the points for him as the dude, only other dude besides Keontae George that you know is going to be taking some shots in this game. So I'm going to add him to the bottom line here as well. Yeah, I bet you didn't wake up this morning thinking you were going to hear that Omer Yurt7 was a good bet, but we're taking him at over 12.5 points, and we get minus 104 on FanDuel. Oh, we can get 11.5 too on Caesars for minus 137. That would give us even bigger of an edge for sure. 11.5 for the bad money. All right, let's do it. Might even be worth it. We'll take that way. We can put a full unit on it too. All right, we're taking him for minus 130. Oh, I got better on MGM. Minus 135 on MGM. MGM for 1 unit on Yurt season, baby. All right, don't let me down, Yurt season. Saving that. That's on the bottom line. Let's see who's already dipping out because they just got mad that I bet on that. What's good, Daft Previews? Definitely check out my guy on YouTube. He has, first of all, has an awesome Australian accent. So if you want to listen to that, hell yeah. And then secondly, he takes you through Outlier, which is another really good program. He knows much better than I do on that one. It's similar to Props.cash, has other stuff going on in there as well, though. So I feel I love the stuff that he brings in his daily videos right now using Outlier. Check out Daft Previews. He likes Trey Murphy. I think that's a good look as well. I was looking at that. We'll get to that in a minute. Best of luck to us today, indeed. I'm going to see if there's anything else that you guys put in here. I know we got all of the love on tap for DeAndre dominating. Everybody loves dominating right now. While I'm in here, let me get some thoughts on Jabari Smith for our guy Diego. Appreciate having you in here, bro. And for those of you that are new, definitely jump in the comments with a bet. Got the Discord coming tomorrow. Just announced that a minute ago. So looking forward to it. We'll be doing more of this stuff in there. Jabari Smith, were you talking about points, Diego? Let me pull it back up. Yeah, the points is what you were talking about. Good look. That's a really good look. 365 if you have it, Yoshua, from that the Yurt7 bet. If you like it that much and you can get 11.5 for even better juice than what I just took, then you want to get it at minus 115 for sure. So definitely shop those around. I do not have access to Bet 365, is why I don't even have it up on the stuff I look at. But yeah, Daft is the truth. I don't know if that's his mom or like his cousin in there or that's his burner, but Daft is the truth. So definitely check him out. And he's a good dude in general. Love that guy. All right, we're looking at Diego for Jabari Smith. Let's see here. Jabari Smith, man, is he a tough call, bro? He is consistently up and down. But let's pull up. Okay, so last 5 for Jabari, he's gone over except for against Dallas and Miami. And Dallas, low-key, is now one of the best down-low defenses in the league. For Utah, they're not going to have anything down low. We know that. What did he do against them last game? He went for 14 last game. He played 32 minutes. Over the last 5, he's playing 36 minutes because he got 40 in these back-to-backers against Dallas and Orlando. So it does seem like he's still going to be playing. This is why I'm like, yo, there's no backups coming in for this Houston team. You look at who's been playing the bulk of the minutes for them, and it's their starters, right? It's everybody that we're always used to getting minutes for them. So I don't love just blindly like trying to back other dudes. But if Jabari is going to keep getting minutes, how many shots has he taken in these last 5? 14 a game. To get 16 points is kind of a lot. He's making 3 threes though, 2.8 threes over his last 5. And this Utah defense is going to give it up from everywhere in this one. I do want to see, I know he takes a lot of spot ups real quick. So I'm going to look at play type and I'm going to look at the defense spot up shots for this Utah team. And I can't break this down by last 5 or 10 games. So it's difficult to get a true gauge of how they've been doing lately against spot up shooters. But on the season, we can see for Utah, possessions per game, they are probably about in the middle. They're giving up like top 10 in terms of limiting the attempts. The frequency with which it's happening means it's not that often for them. They're still top 10 in terms of limiting shots from there. But they are second worst at the amount of points per possession that they give up to spot up shooters. And that is good for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11th most points to spot up shooters as well. The other thing that he's doing, I'm going to go to Props Madness again because now I can look at Jabari Smith and see this a little bit more directly right here. So opponent defense for Utah, they are terrible above the break. They give up the most points per game above the break. They're terrible inside the paint outside of the restricted area. That's what that 29 right there means, and why that green is telling you that if a player shoots from there, that it's good to bet on that player. For Jabari, he has taken 36% of his shots from up top, right? Which is a lot of his shots. And then the others are right around the basket. Now, this Utah defense is ranked 10th down low in terms of limiting points per game right next to the basket. But that's with Walker Kessler. That's with John Collins. That's with Larry Markkinen. That ain't what they are right now. If we actually go back to team, let me go back. So first of all, I like the spot up stuff because I know that Jabari's scoring on the spot up. Let me finish that point real quick. If I go down to Jabari, you can see he's scoring the most amount of his points off of the spot up, right? And then you look at the transition stuff, and this is the worst transition defense. He's also scoring a ton of his points from there. So it would make sense that he's scoring. The problem is I also like Jalen Green in this game. So before we move off that, I got to look at that too because he's ripe to score in this one. Let's pull up Jabari on Courtside Pal, but I need him to take the shots is the problem, right? I already looked at your 7. Jabari Smith Jr. Gonna pull him up on Courtside Pal so I can see his player profile against this team. Points, yeah, they're giving up the most to his score and his shot profile. He's just got to take the shots, bro. I mean, last game on 14 points on 14 points in 32 and a half minutes, taking 12 shots last game, right? Over the last 5, he's taking 14 shots. That was a blowout too, right? Utah versus Rockets last 3 games. No, it was a 1-point game. He just must have missed. He was just off, right? So in that last game, he was against his team. Sorry, going back to that one. He scored 14 points in 32 minutes. He made 4 of 9. So he shot 4 of 9, right? So he shot like 40%. He was bad from the field, 42% from the field, and made 3 of his threes, which almost got him there, but he just shot terrible from everywhere else. Was Walker Kessler in that game? Let me take Walker Kessler out. Walker Kessler was not in that. Oh, yeah, Walker Kessler was in that game. So, yeah, I think Walker Kessler out, all that kind of stuff. 14 shots to get 16 points, making threes, shooting from all over the place where it's bad. I think that's a good look on the Jabari Smith points. 16 is a good amount for him. I am gonna use my Excel sheet real quick and try to gauge what I think so I can get my thoughts together. So I'm going to put Jabari in here. Jabari Smith. I'm going to go with points. The line is at 15.5. The over on the line is, pull that up real quick. The over for Jabari at 15.5 points is even money on FanDuel. I like that look. So I'm going to take 100 right here. That's the over odds, excuse me. The under odds are going to be much lower. Minus 122 is what the under odds are. So looking at the under odds, minus 122. My bad. Take that out of here, put it in there. The minutes average. So he played 32 against them last game in a game that was pretty close. We need him to stay out of foul trouble. That is for sure. But I think you can probably book. So he's at 28 against them. In the last 5, like I said, he's playing 36. So let's be safe and put him at 34 here in this one because he had a couple outlier games where he played the double OT for 40 minutes. So yeah, and then against Orlando, played 40 minutes, needing him against the Bigs. I think 32 minutes is a much safer minutes projection for him. So I'm going to put in minutes average. So he's been averaging let's put like 32 as his minutes average, and that's what we're going to give him here today. So his prop average when he's playing 32 minutes over the last 10, let's say, his prop average when he plays 32 minutes. So I'm going to move his minutes up to 32 here. I'm going to work fast for y'all. 32 minutes over the last 10. He's averaging 17 points a game when he plays 32 minutes. All right. So that's how we're going to get these numbers. The 17.2 points per game on 32 minutes. The projected minutes tonight, I think, once again, we put him at 32 minutes, and that puts us at 17.2 points. So let's see. So the book under, the implied odds on the under, looking at that, pulling that calculator back up real quick. The implied, my bad. That's not the calculator. This is the calculator. I'm going to put minus, already forgot what we just said. For the under is minus 122. For the over is 100. So putting that in the 100 odds right here is going to be 50. I should have known that. I already knew that. 50% on the 100. On the minus 122, it's 55%. All right. So 50% is the implied probability on the over at even money. And the implied probability here is 52%. So this does give me an edge to the over of 14.7, which is a little bit more than that 10. This is where you can also add in your own little buffering factors where you're like, okay, just straight math here based on without taking into consideration who's playing, who's not playing, or whatever. This indicates that, right, like this is a good number. Plus, I like the fact that Walker Kessler isn't playing. And I like the fact that Yurtseven is now their defender down low and is much worse than Kessler. They don't have John Collins. They don't have Larry Markkinen. So all that leads me to go this 10% edge plus the other factors that I put into play here, including how much he's likely to score against them, because that's what Courtside Pal just told us, is that this is the type of player who should be scoring against his team as well as anybody else in the league, right? So I think that's a good look. Thank you for the Jabari Smith points. That is a good look. So I'm going to go ahead and add him to the card on the bottom here and make sure that everything else is clear. So I'm going to put green check marks on the scrolling on the bottom so it's very clear which bets we took and which ones we passed on. The ones that we passed on have a hand next to them. I passed on Hartenstein's rebounds as well. I want to make sure that's clear. And then for Yurtseven, we took him. Good look by Mike. Hawkeye Mike, been riding with us for a while. And then we also added Jabari Smith over 15.5 points, and we get even money on that. Right, so I'm going to put 0.5 on that for Jabari. It's a little bit high, but that's fine. Like we're basically taking a little bit of a high, 1 point higher than I would like for the juice that we get, right? Which is fine by me. So the last thing I'm gonna look at in this game, and if everything's scrolling on the bottom, also going to have the pinned comment on this video up there on YouTube so that you can make sure you get all that. For those of y'all that are in here, I do want to make sure you know I also got the Pelicans and the Kings under 218.5. I believe it's at 217.5, which you can still get, which still works for me. So I just want to put that. That bet is scrolling up there. My bad. All right, cool. So that's all on the bottom line. The last thing I'm looking at is Jalen Green. I already know, Jalen Green is also going out into transition. We're going to put him through Courtside Power real quick to see what he does against this team. I think I like his assist too, is a thing. So his points are at against Utah. He's going to be a shooter 3, and that gets the most points, second most to his scoring profile. Thing is to assist too. Where are they at here? 6th most assists to his playmaking profile as well for Jalen Green. So there is something to be said for his dimes, which I think got juiced up to 5.5 because they were at 4.5, right? But yeah, just pull up Jalen Green real quick because that is the last dude that I want to look at here on this one. So he's been going under lately. He played against some really good squads, right? After playing some really bad ones. You see Utah, Portland, OKC, which with nobody, by the way, and Utah again did go off against Minnesota for 26. But basically, yeah, he's gone off against good teams and not done well against bad teams like Dallas twice, Orlando, Golden State, Miami, right? Those are all really good defenses that he went under against, not this squad. If you look at Jalen Green on Courtside Pal, let's see where he's at as a scorer in his points against Dallas. 14th. We got Miami in here as well. He's going to be down near the bottom. Golden State, 17. So all much worse than the easiest team for him to score against, according to Courtside Pal. If we look at Props Madness, to use that real simply, Props Madness is going to show us where he's shooting from versus where this team is good on defense. He's shooting from all his shots right next to the basket or above the break is like 72% of his shots. That is where we know that this team is the weakest, above the break especially. If we look at the way that he's scoring, now he's a pick and roll ball handler a lot, so he is getting most of his points off of that. They are normally a good pick and roll defense. Colin Sexton's not around. Nobody's around. Chris Dunn's not around. There's no good guards to play defense against him anymore. So I'm really not worried about that. The transition stuff will be there for him. I think an over is probably a good bet in this game as well. I want to pull up the odds separate here so I can just have those in front of me. Looking at the total of this game, I would be surprised if it didn't get bet up. It's at 226.5. Yeah, some places 228. So it didn't really get bet up, and I still think it's a good bet for the over. But for Jalen Green, I like his assists. Those are 5.5. Now that's the problem. It's the 4.5 that I really like because that was a really good number. He's at 11.5 potential assists over his last 10 games. Against this team, He did not get over except for the last game, and he barely got over this 5.5, right? So the market really just kind of moved this for us in a way that kind of dicks me, and I don't feel good about it anymore. He had 13 potential assists against him last time. To get 6 of them is exactly what he did last time, what he would need to do again. Whereas I think he's probably going to to take advantage of the scoring. The points prop for sure went up for him a bit. Let's see how many shots he's still taking in these last. Well, let's do the last 5 where I know he's gone under more than he's gone over, right? And if we need him to get 26 points on, he's down to about 17 shots. It's tough for me to think to believe that he still gives a crap as much as he has, right? Like he was really going all out until that Dubs game where he scored 13. They lost, and then in the next 3 games he's putting up 18, 15, and 17 shots in the next 3 after that loss that kicked him out of playoff contention. So Jalen Green is a pass for me just based on like the care factor, to be honest. Like I do think that all these dudes are going to get minutes, but even his minutes have not necessarily dwindled, but a little bit compared to other dudes. I don't have much for it. Like it's just too high at 26. I really want to take it, but it's the end of the season and it's the care factor. I'm not going to just start hemorrhaging out money on this stuff. So I'm out on that. I think there's a lot to look at in this Kings game, and I also do like a lot from this Dubs game. So let me take a look. Yeah, I think Jabari's threes is a good look. That's a good call, Dylan. And then there's some people throwing out bets from that Chicago and Detroit game, and we got Cunningham out, as Paul Williams mentioned. Yeah, Derek White could be a play, but he once again, I think there's gonna be a lot of Peyton Pritchard and Sam Hauser in the fourth quarter. Yeah, and exactly, like the TNT game is part of it. Maybe they just are like, yo, you guys can play the first half tonight and then sit tomorrow kind of thing. So yeah, I think I'm kind of good on those games. All the stuff's on the bottom. Timothy Thomas, not the Tim Thomas, right? But they're scrolling on the bottom there. Definitely don't want to look at that while you're driving. I get that. All right, let me get into that Pels game real quick. Damn, yeah, the Pels got bet down again, huh? That's a good look. Appreciate the update there. Yeah, so let me before I go too far away from that Boston game, did we get any props up for these backups for Boston? That's the question I want to know. I'm gonna refresh real quick and see what the deal is with that. All right, looking at Boston, New York. Look at how low these props are. They want you to take overs knowing that these dudes are not going to play the whole game. Like the books know, right? Why is Jason Tatum, when he's normally at a 27.5 point prop, why is he at 23.5, right? Like Brian Windhorst meme. Why? Ask ourselves, why is that happening? So I don't have anything still for the short white. Oh, there he is. There's the short white hope. Peyton Pritchard, old Army haircut, 8.5 points. Is there Sam Hauser threes around? Can I get some of that? Let's see real quick. Yeah, I think a gamble on Pritchard is a play here. Just like I said, he's got the most points in the fourth quarter, or most minutes of any Celtic in the fourth quarter over their last like 5 games, right? And you know he's going to be playing that second half. It'll probably be coming up. Peyton Pritchard starts for whomever in the second half. The assists are only at 2.5. That's silly. They should be higher than that. His potential is at 9 to get 3. Yeah, we got to hit that, right? A 9 in. So he didn't play that much against Milwaukee. He didn't play that much against Portland, but he was playing at least 27 minutes. Let's see why. That's a little bit weird. This is still not the best matchup for him. Head-to-head last game. Oh, yes, he needs 3. Head-to-head, how many minutes did he play? Yeah, 13.5 minutes. So even getting 2 assists in 13.5 minutes, double his minutes, because what he's been playing in the last 5 is 27.5. That's easy math right there, right? On the assists for our guy. The points, the only thing that scares you about the points is the shot attempts. 9 attempts against Milwaukee. That was in very limited minutes. Like we said, he played 23 minutes and shot 9 times. So what's a good projected minutes for him tonight, I wonder? In the last 5 where they really have not been trying, because they were trying in some of those last previous games. So in the last 5 without them trying, he's at 27.5 minutes. So 28 minutes or so. I think 27 is a conservative minutes projection for him. So I'm going to put him through this little model real quick just to see where we're at with him. All right, so we're taking Peyton P for let's look at the assists real quick, because I think that's, I know that's a bet. 2.5 is the line. The over odds real quick. Pulling that up again. Come on, man. The over odds for the assists for PP, I forgot that was his initials, -125 as opposed to -105 to the under. All right, let's do that. So we'll do -125 on the over, -105 on the under, -105 on the under, -125 on the over. We look at his minutes average. We'll put him at 27 in this game. I think that's a fair look. The prop average when he's been at the 27 minutes is going to be, let me move this down real quick. The prop average is going to be, this is the last 5, and he's averaged 27 minutes. And the prop average is at 5.4 over that time frame, right? So I'd like that. So 5.4 is the prop average in this amount of time. So he's okay, cool. So the projected minutes for tonight, we're gonna put him at 27 again, and we're gonna get a really good look to the over. An insanely good look to the over already, right? Like the probability of the over is at 93% without even calculating what the implied odds are from the books, right? So I can already tell you that that's a really good look. This number is going to be up above 25, probably 30%, maybe better than that for him on this one. So I think we got to take the over on his assists as the best play right here. As sexy as this chart is, we got to take that. So yeah, I'm gonna hit that. Getting on that right now. Gonna put that at the bottom line here for this Boston game. We didn't have these props up when I was looking at it a minute ago, so I love the Peyton Pritchard. I'm putting a full a unit on that at -125 on, that's everywhere. We'll put that on DK for now. 1U on that. I really want to put 1.3 on it, to be honest with you, and get our full unit back, because I'm really confident in that bet now. That's crazy that they would leave it at 3. I know it's the Knicks, and I know they're going to be D'ing him up. But the one time he got 3 against them, he played 19 minutes. That's the most he's played against them. You double the minutes from 13 to 26, and you're already there. I already did that math. I don't know why I'm still talking about this. All right, we're saving that. I'll leave it for a full unit in there. That's scrolling on the bottom if you need it. All right, cool. Yeah, that's a really good point, Daph. Like it could be up to 30 minutes based on how much they don't want to show their hand necessarily in this game against this team. So I don't think we have Hauser props up, do we? So that's the only thing I would keep an eye on here. If I get him, let me know if y'all see him. I'll refresh and we can get him back. But I want to make sure that I hit a couple of more of these games. And I know there's a lot of stuff for Sack. So let me just start there. I should have told you earlier that I already hit Joval. I want to make sure it's still there for you. I got Joval on the points and rebounds. It was at 19.5. You can still get 19.5 on BetMGM. I got it for -125 on DraftKings for him to hit over on this number. But this is such a good look, man. Like, I love this look. Bro, appreciate that, Greg. Good look, no doubt. Little appreciation on the comments for sure. No doubt, man. I appreciate that. Let's go on the ladder. Peyton Pritchard ladder, climbing that thing with old Army haircut. If y'all want to ladder him too, I'm gonna put that in the comments of the video here. That game tips in like for an hour or so, so I should have a little bit of time to get in there. But that's a good look. I think the ladder for Peyton P on the assists is, you might as well just do that instead of messing with the points, to be honest. Of course, we need dudes to hit shots, and the worry there for Peyton Pritchard, just to bring up devil's advocate, is that he's now shooting against other starters. He's not going to be playing backups. He's playing maybe Josh Hart, right? Dante DiVincenzo, who they play 40 minutes. He'll be playing some Miles McBride. Yeah. All right, cool. Hell yeah, Paul. I appreciate that. That's the point of this thing, bro, is everybody jumping in and getting in, right? Like, don't be antisocial. That's going to be the thing with the Discord too, is like, I want to incentivize y'all to participate. This is like built on the back of y'all coming in here and giving bets and giving an analysis that sometimes I use that I didn't even know before you brought it in. So let's keep that same energy, no matter what. For Joval, the points and rebounds, like I said, I hit that. Here's what I'm looking at real quick. Let me pull my notes so I can just be very clear and concise about this. The notes that I have for why I love the Joval bet at this point are Larry Nance is out. That's really where we start and where we can use that. So for Larry Nance is the dude that takes away from Joval. He's the backup center. I'll just start by putting in Jonas Valanciunas. Yes, I know how to spell Valanciunas. Valanciunas with and without Larry Nance this season. So for Joval, without Nance, he goes up to 29 minutes a game. That's what we love to see. The points going up 5 is great, but we love the volume jumping. 29 minutes, 10.6 attempts, right? I was already thinking about Joval because my thought process was, Well, dude needs to play against Domantas Sabonis. There's literally nobody else to guard him, and you do not want Zion Williamson getting into foul trouble. So you look at his last 6 versus this team, his minutes are up at about 26 and a half, right? Which is still more than he's playing on the season in general. So when Larry Nance is in, he's at 22 minutes per game, right? If we put, if we actually filter this on props.cash, so we're just looking at Joval with Larry Nance in, right? He's still gone over all 3 against this team. But with Larry Nance in, he's at about 25.7 minutes, which is a little bit lower than when he's out. If we look at Larry Nance in, 25.7 with him in versus the Kings. Without him in the 3 games, we're looking at 27.5. So those minutes jump up a minute without him. He's still at 27 and a half, which I really like as a good number for him to get some good money there, some good numbers there. So like if he's going to get the minutes, and it's clear that this is a good bet for him, right? Like he's gone over this 3 times. You look at his last 10 in general without Larry Nance, and also on the season, right? If you look at his PR without Larry Nance on the season, we're talking about 15 of 19 games that he's gone over this points and rebounds prop. This was a little bit higher until if you get it at 19 and a half, because he's got 1 game of getting exactly 20 without Larry Nance, right? So all this without Larry Nance stuff is just super easy for me to feel good about. The rebounds at 8.5, they were at plus money. Everything's getting juiced now for him as well. I think that's another good look. Without Nance, 13 of 19. The points are 14 of 19, but I think the PR is what you really look for here, combining them together in the amount of minutes that he's going to play. So I actually already have him on the Excel sheet, so we don't have to go through it. I can just show you what it came up with. But if you look at Joval right here, right, and this is to show you the difference in like when you're deciding which prop to hit, if you should do points, if you should do points and rebounds or just rebounds, whatever. I put all 3 in here. I've got points, rebounds, and rebounds combined. So the rebound prop at 8.5 shows an edge after putting everything in of about 30%, 29.8%, right? The points show an edge of 44%. And the points and rebounds show an edge of 28%. Now, that was before some of this stuff moved for him. So that's a big reason why these numbers are look the way they look. And it seems like the points might be a better play. But before we just blindly take the points, because that's what it says, what's the deal with his stuff on Courtside Pow, which is really helpful. So I'm going to put Jonas in here right quick. And I do want to point out, since we got Daft in the chat still, that he did the work for us to find some really good stuff to ladder our boy Peyton Pritchard, because you can still get 7+ for 1,600 on that. That's a really good look at 16-1. That's definitely worth a sprinkle, in my opinion. I love that. And yeah, that's what, getting back to Joe Yehoshua, I think that it still is a good bet at 20.5. I'll change it real quick. So look at what we've got here. Right now, I've got 19.5 as the PR, right? Let me change that to 20.5. Where I go 20.5. I change the odds from even for the under now, because it's not even for the under. If you have to take it at 20.5, let's say you get it on FanDuel, it's -104 and -122, right? So minus for the under, it's -122. For the over, it's -104. So we get with those, everything jumped up, which is nice. I got to change the implied probabilities now to, this is going to be about 51% to the over. I'm just doing that math quickly in my head, and about 53% to the under. So what that does is change that to about a 35% likelihood of happening with those odds. You still have a good edge of about 35% with that number there, with just math, not taking into consideration any of the other stuff. It still is a bet worth hitting according to this chart alone. And then you take out Larry Nance, which honestly, I already accounted for Larry Nance being out in the way that I filled this in, because I put his minutes average, still pretty conservative, but I did what his projected minutes are without Larry Nance. So this does take into account Larry Nance not being in there, gives you a 30% edge. I think that's a good look for Joval. So I did already hit that for a full unit on the PR. Also love the double for him. I think that was at 2-1 on your money. If you can still get 2-1 on that for Joval's double, I do like that. Let me pull up. This is also in the description of the video, the link to one of the best prop tools out here on thelines.com. And you can just pull up Jonas and get a lot of, this does a really good job of giving you like double and stuff like that. So if I look at what the double is right now, looks like it's still 2-1 on FanDuel, and 255 if you have a Bet Rivers account for him to get the double in this game. So I've got Joval for I split the unit there. Let me make sure I have this correctly on the card. I split the units for Joval over 20. I'll put 20 in here. I had 19 and a half, but I can't put it out there anymore. I probably should have just started with that, bitch. My bad. And I'll take that for -104 on FD. I'm putting 0.7 on that, and I'm splitting that unit with with the double bet. So I've also got DD for plus 2. I got that for, it's still plus 200 on DraftKings. I got it for 210, but I'll just put plus on FanDuel rather. I'll put plus 200 in here. And we got 0.3 units. So I split the unit between those two bets. That one came from me. That one is a go. Gonna get the green check on it. So we got one of our units on Joval tonight. All right, get this green check in here. All right, so we're good on the Joval bet. I know some of y'all were talking about a couple other things in that game, so I don't want to miss that. It could be. I think, what did I take? I passed on Jalen just because of the minutes, bro. I know Mozzie's in here now. Like, I passed on the Jalen Green stuff just because of the fact that, like, his minutes have gone down. His care factor has gone down. Right after dude got into a press conference, it was like, I'm tired of being a bad on a good stats, bad team player. He's basically what he said. And he was like, I'm done with that. I want to make the playoffs. I don't want to have hollow numbers. And then he went off and he played bad teams and he went off. And now he's playing good teams. This Jazz team, definitely not a good team by any stretch of the imagination. But if he's not like coming out firing 22 shots a game like he was, and now he's down to 16 shots a game, I need him to get 26 points on 16 shots. That's a hella efficient game that I don't really want to have to depend on for Jalen Green. So that was a quick recap of the Jalen Green analysis. All right, let me wrap up this game here for this Kings team real quick. CJ is a good look. Now, here's where I'm at, bro. And this is where I started with this game, right? And I have some cheat sheets. These will also be available on the Discord starting tomorrow, where I've got my all my tools and everything. So because there's some tools that I'm using that are not even websites, I got my own spreadsheets sometimes, right? This is the most basic view of one of my spreadsheets, which I'm calling my cheat sheet. And this is my play type cheat sheet, which has been updated recently, where it's like, oh, my guy, what's up? We got Guy Boston in there. I got to shout out another dude, great capper on YouTube, super entertaining, bro. Love him. He's got a really good line of merch called Fade Me. I'm sure a lot of you know that, and you get plenty of suggested views for Guy Boston. But Ev is the man, dude. Good dude, good human. That's what we care about here. All right, so this is my little cheat sheet. Like I said, going to make that super available for you guys. This helps me define which teams are good at what and which teams are not. Yeah, the guppy man himself. Yeah, if you come incorrectly in Ev's stream, you're a guppy. So don't be a guppy. But all right, so the stuff right here, this is simple Command F stuff, right? I'm gonna make this available to everybody. Command F, and I'm gonna look for who am I looking for? I'm looking for this Kings defense, right? So I'm gonna put sack in here. And see what comes up. Are they, because this is either going to be bottom 10 or it's going to be top 10, right? In terms of how good they are at something. So for the Kings, what I came up with that I found in my search earlier is the spot up stuff. 4th most points per game to spot up shooters, right? And we know there's plenty of spot up shooters on the let's get it. What a merch collab. I can't wait, bro. All right, my bad. No, I'm having fun though. Like I love having you in here, Ev. But yeah, you should know my ADD is like bonkers. So like definitely got to keep me on track. Shout out my guy We the Fifth, when he got me back on track the other day. It was like, bro, there's too many games to be talking about Daniel Gafford for this long. So sack, spot up shooters. Who's spotting up for this Pellies team? So I'm gonna go to players under NBA Advanced Stats. I'm gonna go to play type. I'm gonna go to spot ups. Right, there's 2 dudes that I know I'm gonna be looking at, so I got to filter this using my little filter thing here. I'm gonna hit team equals NOP. Right, all right, so now I filter this to play type for players, spot up on offense, and for the Pelly specifically. So the dude doing it with the most possessions per game is Trey Murphy, and the dude scoring the most points off of it is CJ, because he's a little bit more efficient off the spot up, but they're both really good numbers from spot up shooters, right? That's a good amount of possessions per game for spotting up. I think Kobe White is leading the league with like 7, so 4.5, 5 is going to be up there in the top half, top like 80, 90th percentile in the league for the amount. So they're doing it a good amount in general. But the key here is like who's going to be getting these shots. So if you look at these 2 dudes against Sack lately, we'll pull up head to head. CJ had 37 against them last game, and I don't remember if BI was in there. So let's just do without BI real quick. Yeah, BI was in there, so he still got the 37 with BI. But either way, the before that wasn't getting that many shots off. The 37 he did in 27 minutes actually, which is wild. I think they blew him out that game. Yeah, because they won so many games against his team recently. Damn. Yeah, there's some good dudes out there. I appreciate that, Free Sauce. Those are all good homies for sure. The 16 shots that he took in 27 minutes. I mean, yeah, he's hella lethal against his team. If you look at props madness real quick, where we at here? Props madness. Let me go over to NOP sack. I'll pull up both these guys, right? So if I pull up CJ real quick, where he's shooting from. He is shooting from the top of the key. 50% of his shots are above the break, right? So that's where he's shooting from the most. He also likes to get in the lane right here and put up that floater, right? In that floater range, which is right inside the foul line, but not quite in the restricted area. You look at this defense for Sacramento, that is where they're very weak, as we know. 27th, giving up the 4th most points per game in the paint, not inside the 5 feet, right? So he's a good look if we actually compare that to Trey Murphy, who's actually, damn, he got bumped up to 16.5. Is that still true? He's at 16.5 points now. Trey Murphy, looking at the points alone, yeah, he's at 16.5. That's very high for our dude at this point. For CJ, he got. I thought he might have had some 23.5s hanging around. Yeah, you can still get 23.5 for CJ, which is a pretty good look. So I got to put CJ I got to put both of them in here to kind of see what I'm feeling, because they both basically do exactly what it takes to get these points against this Pelly's defense. So I'm gonna put them into the spreadsheet real quick and look at CJ and Trey real quick and be done with it and let this be my guide. So I got CJ McCollum spelled incorrectly. Points, the line is at, it'll take 23.5, and the 23.5 is at which numbers right here? 23.5 over is going to be minus 120 is the best number I can get on DraftKings. Minus 120, that's the over, my bad. Minus 120 to the over. And the under is on 23.5 is minus 110, minus 106 on Caesar. So I'll just put that in there since you can get both of those. Minus 106 to the under. All right. The minutes average, we gotta do real quick. So for him in the last, where we got here, this is head to head. The last game he played, this is with BI though, right? So let's do the last 10 games. And let's take BI out of here, but I think he actually has missed about 10 games. So last 10 without BI, he's gone over, this is the 23.5. Let me make it 23.5, not 24.5. So in the last 10 without BI, he's gone over 23.5 and gotten 23 a couple times, but gone over 7 out of 10. He's playing 38.5 minutes, right? As they're down, it's nut crunching time for this Pelly squad. Who do we say they play tomorrow real quick? The Pellies have Golden State. They can't blow either game. So, I mean, everyone, it's all hands on deck. So if we put him at 38.5 minutes feels right. And he's taking 22 shots a game in the 38.5 minutes. So I'm really starting to feel good about CJ. Let me keep riding with the sheet though. So if we take him, we'll project his minutes. I mean, 38 feels pretty right, bro. That's just he and Zion and Herb Jones as well, playing as many minutes as they can. 38 is not much of an outlier. They haven't really played any OT games here. He's just getting those minutes. So, I mean, he's gone over that number. So, yeah, I think 38 is a fair number to project him at here. I'll put him at 38 as his minutes average. And the prop average over these last 10 has been for points 26.7 over these last 10 where he's playing those 38.5 minutes. So we'll go 26.7 prop average, which means his projected minutes tonight we'll put at 38 as well. And that is going to give us, yeah, I mean, it's going to project us for 26.7, obviously. I don't think that's going to change here. If we look at what am I missing? Give me this. Okay, so now, yeah, we're looking at standard deviation. Hold on one sec. My sheet got all messed up. All right, so I'm putting in. How did I get all messed up here, bro? My bad. I was looking at the wrong one. All right, so looking at CJ's, looking like a really good number here. The 106, what do we got here for his? This should be minus 106 for the under. Figure it out, bro. Minus 106. All right, so minus 106 and minus 120. The minus 106 to the under is going to give us under probability of about 51%. And the book over probability at minus 120 is going to give us about 53%, 52. So I'll say 53 right there. Don't really have an edge either way, but I think my math got messed up. I think I started going in the wrong columns. All right, for CJ, I think I'm hitting the 23.5% points to the over there. My bad for losing you guys on that one. I got a little bit caught up. But yeah, let me put in CJ here as well, because I think he's a better bet than Trey, to be honest. Like, if we real quick run them through the thing here, it's like it could be either of them. That's really what we're talking about. So if there's any edge that I can find for either of them, cool. But with the volume of CJ and where he's shooting from and all that, like, I do think he's a good over. I think what's his name is a good under in terms of Zion, to be honest with you. But looking at the points, his shooting profile versus sack, not good. His scoring profile versus sack, not good, right? So just because he is shooting spot ups and stuff doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be a great play. Let's look at CJ points against this squad. Shooting profile versus sack, also not great. Also not great in general. So COURTSIDE Pal does not like our bet right now, I'll be honest with you. Yes, I do. That's a great call. I was actually going to ask you, bro, on DAF previews. It definitely has a really cool way to be watching streams with y'all. I don't know how you're doing that, you wizard, but hit me up, bro, and let's make that happen. I'm down for that. All right, so let me roll out of here in a minute, and if you want, come through on that DAF previews live show where he's gonna be watching games. I think he can stream it too, which is sick. Yeah, drop the link, bro. Put that in here. Absolutely happy to have that. People coming over there and checking out what you're doing. All right, so I'm gonna get out of this game. Joe Val is my favorite bet. CJ, I'm gonna put. Man, I wish I hadn't fucked that up. CJ, I am going to put a half a unit on him to go over 23.5, even though I like under in that game, fam. Like, that's my biggest thing. No, I'm passing. I'm not just shelling out money. I was waffling between these two earlier, and I'm out, yo. I'm good on that. I think Zion is a better under than an over if you look at where he's shooting at. And these props keep going up for these players, but the total doesn't really move. So that should be another scary indication to y'all. Like, if props are going up because people are betting them, and the public is hitting it heavy, but somehow the total is staying the same, that doesn't add up, because you can't give players more points and not add to the total. And this total is at 215.5. So you see CJ and you see Trey Murphy, you see all their props going up, yet somehow this total is going down. Right, I'm out. Like, already out on those overs right there. So do with you what you will. If the game goes over and I'm wrong, then it is what it is. You know what I mean? All right, and we're almost running out of water, so we got to kill it on this Golden State Portland game, because what we do have stuff to work with here, fam, which is, like, we know that Draymond is out and we know that Clay is out. So I can tell you the two dudes I want to look at right away. I want to look at Brandon Podziemski, and not only just because players are out do I want to look at Brandon Podziemski, but I want to also look at what he did against his team. So finishing it up with B-Pod right now. So looking at the way that they played Portland, he's gotten minutes, right? In the last two against Portland, 33.5, 31.5. The points, take it or leave it. The rebounds and assists, I think, are a really good play. I think he's going to spend some time as the point guard out here. And we know he can get boards. So I'm looking at the rebounds and assists for Guy. And if I look at him over the last 10, problem is like his minutes have gone down as dudes have come back into the lineup, right? And we've seen a lot more Chris Paul. We've seen some Moses Moody. We've seen all that stuff out. So it's a little bit scary. But if you think that this game is going to be full of backups at some point, look, the Dubs still need to win. That's the scary thing. I keep just talking about it like they're just going to sit, but in reality, it's probably time for Curry to go off, don't you think? Let's, like, if they're trying to win and like they're making sure that they don't throw a game, and they've got to win tomorrow night against the Pellies, who are much better. Damn, yeah, I gotta feel pretty good about Steph to get his. I know some people were talking about Steph points earlier. It did balloon, right? 27.5. I think if you got it at 25.5, that's a great look. 27.5 gets a little bit dicey, but it feels like it should be a Curry night. Now, the thing about the shots is, like, they've been a little bit erratic lately because they played some bad teams and other dudes have been going off, like Klay Thompson. Now, Klay's out, so the logic would tell you that there's going to be more shots for Steph. But let me just look at it real quick in StatMuse and go Steph Curry with and without Klay this season. Let me get a music change real quick too. Oh, and starting tomorrow, we're just gonna have that looping. All right, cool. This year without, oh wow, In the 4 games without Clay, he's at 36 points per game. Golly, 32 minutes, fewer minutes, and the same amount of shots, but 2 more threes than 2s, and a wild efficiency. That's crazy. So that's a little bit of an outlier to me more than anything than to just blindly go like, yo, yeah, like, let's get it. Cool. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I'll put that in the description of the video for those of y'all that jump in and see the video that's gonna be on YouTube with the pinned comments and all that with all the bets. That's also gonna be where you can. I'll put that in the description for DAF. So we're gonna be doing that later. Maybe Guy, maybe Ev will even join us. Who knows? G-Bag. 1-800-GAMBLER, bro. 1-800-GAMBLER. That's all we got to say about Malachi Flynn. You already know. That's some sicko stuff. All right, keeping it going with Steph. I think he's a good bet. I'm not looking to take chances right now on this stuff, and I think 27.5 is right around where you'd like it. You're not going to get any benefit from taking a 30 alt line and doing that. You know what I mean? So I'm good on that for Steph, although I'm not telling y'all not to, honestly. Like, respect for believing the logic that without Clay, he's gonna get the points. Maybe you take first half or first quarter for Steph, because I mean they want him to be out by the second half. First quarter, yeah, 7.5 points. It's just wild, fam. And he might even be doing a little bit more assisting. 5.5 assists was kind of nice. I didn't have an edge for Steph, to be honest with you, in any way. What I was looking at here is I think B-Pod is the play and the rebounds and assists. If we look at him over these last 5, we got to do without Clay and without Draymond. See if that brings us anything. We got both those dudes out for B-Pod, but he hasn't even played without them, right? Without both of them. So there was nothing much there. Be careful with Trace Jackson Davis. He also doesn't just have like a guarantee that he's going to get rebounds and board and points. I really wanted to take Brandon Podziemski rebounds and assists, and I think I'm still on that, to be honest. Looking at RA for B-Pod and trying to focus on that for 1 sec. Let's project his minutes, and let's say he plays. So last time he played against them, played 31 and 33. So let's put him at 30 minutes, all right, because they're going to be missing dudes tonight. So let's put him at 30 minutes and see what happens when we put his minutes at 30 and what he normally does. So in the last 5, he's played 30 minutes, over an 80%. Last 10, over an 70%. On the season, he goes over 64% of the time when he plays 30 minutes. And if you exclude the first bunch of games where he was still getting his feet wet in the NBA in November, I think you can feel even better about that number, right? The rebounds and assists, so the potential assists are up at 8.6 on the season, but we'll look at last 10 where he plays at least 30 minutes. And this dates back to right before the All-Star break. So last 10, all right. And we've got him playing 30 minutes. We've got potential assists up at 8.4. And the rebounds for him in these situations, a little bit more sporadic. Let's throw him real quick into Courtside Pal and see if that brings up anything for us. And then I'm gonna correctly throw him in the damn sheet, which I messed up last time, and try to do that correctly. Let me just delete these 2 lines really quick. All right, so B-Pod in here against Portland. If we look at rebounds against Portland, they're a good rebounding team because DeAndre Ayton gets all of them. 23rd. If we look at assists from his playmaker profile for B-Pod against Portland, not great either. 18th. I'm sure his scoring is a bit better. Yeah, his scoring is what Courtside Pal would tell you to do, and I'm not sure about that. Yeah, so I'm a little bit scared of B-Pod because I need him to play the minutes is really what it comes down to, and maybe the assists alone are the play. Let me put his minutes back up at 30. In the 30 minutes with the assist. No, it's not even like it. It's not even like that. It's really the RA together with the 30 minutes that you feel much better about. Playing with Steph too. 30 minutes. Getting that pretty consistently. 11 is what he needs for plus money. That's a pretty good look if we think he's getting 30 minutes. And you can get 9.5 or worse juice if you want it too. I think that's the play, bro. And I'm gonna put B-Pod in there on the overall rebounds and assists because I get plus 108 on that. and the 10.5. So once again, this is where it'd be really helpful to have this up. So I'm going to put B pod real quick in here. And then just to interrupt myself, I did like the Zion assists more than I like the Zion points. And the reason being that once you get into the lane against that sack team, then you just go ahead and they collapse on you. He kicks out. He's gotten the assist a couple times against them recently, although 5.5 is a lot for him, but he's gotten that recently against that. So I would feel much better about the assists for Zion Free Sauce than I would the points if that's your play. But for B pod, I'm looking at RA. All right, and I'm gonna close it out, close him out with that, and move on with our lives. So the RA, it's at 10.5, and I'm looking at that for plus money. The under odds on 10.5 are minus 138. The over is 108. All right, minus 138 versus 108. Under is minus 138. Over is 108. And we're projecting his minutes at 30, right? Now, his prop average on, let's see, his prop average in this time frame is 11.9, right? So we like that. Put that in here. And this is when he's playing. This is his last 10 on 30 minutes. Let's do, his last 10 playing at least 30 minutes. We got him at 11.9, right, is the average. So I'll put 11.9 as his prop average. I'm putting his projected minutes at 30. Actually, his minutes are actually up. So I need to be clear about that. His minutes average in these last 10 is 32. It's not just 30. So I'm going to put 32 in here, projecting 30 minutes for him tonight. So 32 minutes is his average, projecting 30 minutes. He's still at about 11.1, which is what this projects him at. So not much of an edge. The 108, let me do the odds calculator. I don't have these ones in my head, unfortunately. Pull up the calculator real quick to get the implied probability, which you need using the odds. So the under odds are minus 138, right? Is this what I said? I'm pretty sure that's what I said. The under odds are minus 138 and 108. So minus 138 is going to bring us implied odds of 58%. Really likely it's going to happen. So 58% on the implied there, and the 108 for plus money. 108, which is plus money, is a 48% chance of that happening. The edge to the over is still 13% with that good juice that you get for taking him to hit over on the rebounds and assists, right? So I think that's probably a good look right there. I think 13. I still think the 10.5 rebounds and assists is a good look at that juice, to be honest with you. It's a slight edge. I won't play anything under 10, but 10 is right on the cusp. So we'll put 0.5 units on it for the plus money for him right there and be good. All right. I appreciate y'all, man. I'm going to have this final card up and running and on the... Oh, I didn't look at your boy. My bad. I didn't look at Ayton, which I know y'all are going to play anyway, so you don't need me to tell you to look to play it. I support you guys. I'm going to put B-Pod in here for over 10.5 RA, 4 plus 108 on FD. Take that for half a unit. I got to get some bets in. Y'all... I'll be putting up the stream, the link to the stream that I'm going to be doing with Daft here in a minute as well. So definitely check that out. I'll be back tomorrow, as always. I've deleted my other banner. But tomorrow, Friday, 5:30 Eastern, we're going to have 15 games on the slate, fam. I might need somebody to join me on the show tomorrow. I'm going to be honest with you, so that we can get some more picks in here. In fact, I think that's the play. I got to get somebody on here. Maybe I'll make Daft come on, since he is making me come on with his stuff. But yeah, everything's scrolling on the bottom. If you want to check out Dylan, just so you know, in case you don't know, if you want to get the final picks, they're going to be pinned to the video on YouTube. The time is the same every day, 5:30 p.m. Eastern on the weekdays. On the weekends, I'm going to get going with a stream at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. So every weekday is 5:30 p.m. Every weekend is 2:30 p.m. Eastern on those days on the weekends, because games start earlier. No games Saturday, so I think I'm planning on coming out with my first MLB video for Saturday. I'll be looking at that slate. So y'all, for those of y'all that bet baseball, I'll be coming up with those. A lot of player props, first 5 innings, that kind of stuff. It's definitely what I'm looking at, but I'm usually looking at pitcher matchups more than just hitter props, to be honest with you guys. So if you're interested in some of that stuff, going to be coming with it there, similar to how we do here. One more reminder while I got you here, that tomorrow is the day that we go live with our baby boy. I'm going to be getting up the Discord tomorrow. So make sure that you are around to jump into that and come through with some of that stuff, because we're going to be doing everything we do there here, there. And you can see there's office hours. There's going to be spreadsheets. So a lot of the spreadsheets that I use that I don't have links to yet, I'm finalizing those to get them ready for y'all tomorrow. I got a lot of work to do to get the 15 games covered for tomorrow. God bless all of us for trying to figure that out. But yeah, appreciate you guys, man. We're going to keep it going here. We're going to get going with Daft here in a little bit as well to watch these games. So I got to go check that out. And yeah, like I said, pinned video will have the video will have the pinned comment with the final bets in here. Appreciate you guys. Gamble safely tonight. Don't go chasing losses. We got plenty of stuff for next week. I'm going to do a little futures video as well so that we can see some of those bets for these playoffs. And until I see y'all next, happy betting.